Okay. All right. So let's start. So the Haggadah now does the last section of the sort of intro before we get into the Ikka Sipur. So which is the Daled Bonim, which is quite it's one of the, for me it's one of the hardest pieces of the text, trying to pinpoint exactly what he wants. So he starts off with this cryptic phrase. He says, Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu, Baruch Shenatan Torah L'Amo Yisrael Baruch Hu. And then he says, V'keneged arba banim divra Torah, Echad Chacham, Echad Rasha, Echad Tam, Ve'echad She'enu Yodea Lishol. So what's this hakdama of Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu? Why does the Baal HaGodah put this line in there? And why does it use dafka the shem makom? And you see that throughout the Haggadah, that he often, whenever he's referring to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, he uses the name makom. You know, he could have said Baruch Elokeinu. He could have said, you know, I don't know, Kel Shakai. Always makom. It's always makom. Why does he keep using this loshon of makom? So like this. We'll try and understand. I think there's a very, very yesodistic and akudah that the Haggadah is trying to teach us over here. So the Nefesh HaChaim in Shah Gimel, he essentially spends the almost the entire Shah Gimel, which is one of the hardest Sharim, probably the hardest Shah actually there, about explaining this name Mokum. What does this name Mokum mean? And he spends about 13 prokim. So, you know, obviously we're going to have to do things a bit bekitzer, but we'll try and understand the general idea that the Nefesh HaChaim wants to explain with this shem Mokum. So he brings a medrash. Right? He brings a medrash which says, what is the name of Mokum? You know, I've got it here. Let's see the medrash inside. Let's get the exact lashon. Rav Huna b'shem Rav Ami Amar, mipnei ma mechanin shmo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'korin oto makom. Why do we make this kinui, this shem for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we call him makom? Right? Shehu mekomo shel olam ve'en olamo mekomo. That he is the makom of the world, and the world is not his makom. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't exist in the world. The world exists in him. That's the lashon of the medrash, and he goes to explain what this means. And he says there's many layers to this medrash. So let's try. Let's see if we can what we can do with this, right? Just bekitza. So when we're saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the makom of the world and the world does not exist within him, we're saying like this, that it's not pshat that there is something outside of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that exists, you know? And you know, he is another factor that exists in the world. Elowot, the world exists in him. That means that he is Metzius. He is reality itself. Let's look at this Rambam. The Rambam at the beginning. It's the first. It's Perek Mada Hilchos Yisoda Torah Perek Aleph Halacha Aleph. You know, the Rambam explains this, and the Nefesh HaChaim is Matzayin this Rambam. He says, Yisoda Yisodot va'amud ha'chochmot leida sheyesh sham matzui rishon. Right, the foundation of all Chochmah is to know that there is a matzui rishon, the first cause, v'hu mamtzi kol hanimtza, and he causes everything to exist. V'chol hanimtzaim min hashamayim va'aretz uma b'neihem lo nimtzu ela me'amitat himatzo. Everything that exists from Shemaim to the Aretz and everything in between only exists because of the truth of his existence. That's the words of the Rambam. Now, halacha bet. Ve'im ya'ale al hadat shu ha'eno matzui, en davar acher yachol lehimatzot. If you would entertain that he does not exist, that would behechrach mean that nothing else could exist. Think about that, right? That's you know, if to entertain a tzad that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not exist, that behechrich means that nothing can exist. Ve'im ya'aleh al hadad she'en kol hanimtzeim milvado mitzuyim, hu levado hiya matzui v'lo yivatel hu lebitulam. And if everything in the world and the universe would be totally nisbatel, he would not. Shekol hanimtzeim שכל הנמצאים צריכים לו, והוא ברוך הוא אינו צריך להם ולא אחד מהם. לפי כך אין אמיתתו כאמיתת אחד מהם. Therefore, his MS, his truth, right, is not like their MS. So that's, you know, obviously it's a very, very loaded line in the Rambam. So what does he mean by that? So he means like this. When I exist, it's true that I exist. Do I exist? Yes. Is it MS that I exist? Yes. But my existence is talui on kol minei dvarim. I need air. I need food. I need my heart to run. I need a billion things to keep me going. Could there be a matzav where I don't exist? Absolutely. The world has existed before me. It will exist after me. Is it true that I exist? Yes. But my existence is not the hechrich, it's not mechuyav hametziyut, right? As Rav Moshe would say, right? As Zichron they would say mechuyav hametziyut. Reality does not require my existence. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not like that. Reality requires his existence. It's even that's not meduyuk. He is metzius. He is everything. Everything exists within him. There is nothing else without him. You cannot entertain to talk about God not existing is a ridiculous statement. He cannot not exist because he is Metzius.
What was the exact line? What was the exact line of the Rambam? The final line.
To entertain the possibility of a Kadosh Baruch Hu not existing would mean that nothing else can exist. Shekol hanimtzeim tzrichim lo, because all of the things that exist need him. Vehu Baruch Hu eno tzarich lehem velo echad mehem, and he does not need them. Lefikach en amitato ka'amitat me'echad mehem. Vehu shen anavi omer Hashem Elokim emes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is emes. Hu levado emet. Ve'en la'acher emet ka'imato. And nothing else is emes like his emes. In other words, that means that it is true that other things exist, but they're not mukhrich, right? They're not mukhrich. V'hu she'atar omeret, and here's the punchline: En od milevado. Koloma she'en shum matzui emet milevado kemoto. Right? En od milvado. There is nothing apart from him. He is Metzius. Right? That is all loaded into the word makom. He is the makom of the world. Everything exists within him. He doesn't exist with anything else. There is nothing outside of him. Right? Adarabah, when the Nefesh HaChaim goes into this, and I'm not going to go into this now because this is, this we could talk about this for 3 weeks, right? But the Nefesh HaChaim spends about, as we said, about 13 prokim going into this. Right? When you understand this to its depth, so then the kasha becomes, how does anything exist bichalal if they know milvado, right? And then you get into Tzayta Tzimtzum and the Arizal and all this sort of stuff, which we're not going to go into now. But anachnu tzeichim lekachat be'emunah that this is the emes, that he is Metzius. There is nothing else besides him. Ein oid milvado, and that's all loaded in the phrase of makom, right? So now, what we need to understand is, why does the Baal Haggadah bring all this here? Why is now that relevant here? Baruch hamakom baruch hu, and then he says, Baruch shenatan Torah la'amo Yisrael baruch hu. And he gave us Torah. Okay. All right. So Pashut Pshat, in what the Baal HaGadah is doing over here, is like we said, right? We said that that the whole Yetzias Mitzrayim was Kedei Lahavi Lematan Torah, right? Leman Tavdun Oti B'Harazeh is the lashon of the pasuk, right? But why here? Why now when he's bringing this musag of makom? Baruch Shenatan Torah L'Amo Yisrael Baruch Hu. So here's a very, very deep nekuda. Right? When you do a mitzvah, what you're actually doing is you're connecting yourself to something that is much, much bigger than you. You're connecting yourself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the lashon of mitzvah. Mitzvah is milashon tzavta, right? It's which means together. We're in isolation, but mitzvah is to be together, right? It means that you're one. It's mitchaber, right? It's mechaver, the mitzvah, and the mitzvah. So now here's the nekuda. When you do a mitzvah, and this is actually what Torah is, right? When Torah crystallizes in a mitzvah, you're actually giving an expression to the Ein Sof. You're actually crystallizing in your Maisa a pun of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In other words, that Maisa has within it something. It's a gilui. It's a crystallization of something massive, much, much bigger than who you are. You say, he speaks about this also in the Nefesh Chaim. He says, but you say before a mitzvah, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Right? Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. In other words, you say the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, and then you say v'tzivanu, right? Which means that you're now actually touching that shame. Right? There's a tzivui. Right? That's called Godol Mitzvah Oseh Misha Eno Mitzvah Oseh, because it means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has shown an interest in being mitchaber with you. That's why it's better. Right? It's not just that you're doing something for your vision, it's just one way. When it's a mitzvah, that's HaKadosh Baruch Hu is showing that he wants to be mitchaber with you. And what happens there, when you do a mitzvah, the details of your life become a crystallization of the Ein Sof. Right? That's Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu, Baruch Shenatan Torah L'Amo Yisrael Baruch Hu. That Makom, that Bechina of Makom, that is Ein Sof, Ein Od Mevadayim. It's mamash. It's the highest thing. It's Ein Sof mamash. Right? That can be crystallized in my Maisim through the Torah. Right? And that's what being a Jew is about. And that's what Yetzias Mitzrayim was about. Yetzias Mitzrayim was creating a nation that they're going to be Makabel Torah, right? And they're going to now live their lives out, and their lives are going to express and be Megale the Ein Sof. And that is the final point, right, of the intro. Right? Understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu got involved in the world. Right? We asked, why is this night different? Because we were slaves and HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a new world order, and it's nageh to every chelik of your life. And what is that? And we're going to see. We're going to go into this much deeper as the Haggadah goes on, because this is just an overview. And what is the sort of the there's a good word for this, like not the punchline, the sort of the mission statement, right? That's also not the right word, but whatever, right? It's like, what's the mission statement of the New World Order? That there's the Makom, which is the Ein Sof, Baruch HaMakom, and that he gave us that Torah, and we can live and crystallize and express something that is Ein Sof in our lives. Right?
Raison d'etre.
What?
The raison d'etre.
The raison d'etre. Very good. Right? Very, very, very nice. Yeah? So yeah, that's what that means. And then what happens is So Sam, I told you nothing can mute Sam. You know, so so very good, right? So that's kind of like the end, the mission statement, the raison d'être, as you say. Yeah, very good, right? So now, and then the Baal Haggadah goes and says, and this is Nogea to everybody in Klal Yisrael, everybody, and then it goes through. There's 4 halakim, right? There's the Chacham, the Rasha, and everyone, because this is what it's about. It's about that your life should express something that it has a connection to Makom, so that he is that is the Ein Sof, that is Ein Od Mavadoi, Metzias itself, right? Reality itself, the very fabric of reality, right, is an expression of Hakadosh Baruch Hu's Ein Sof. Right? And that's what your life is about. And then the Baal Haggadah goes into Keneged Ababanim Dibra Torah, Echad Chacham, Echad Rasha, Echad Tam, Ve'echad Sheni Yadeh Lishol. Now you'll understand what the Nakudas here that the Haggadah wants to bring out with these 4 sons. The Chacham Mahu Omer, Ma He'edut HaChukim VaMishpatim Asher Tziva Hashem Elokeinu Etchem. Right? So what's the yichud of a Chacham? The yichud of the Chacham is that he goes into the details. He's interested in the details, because the Chacham understands that the details of halacha are actually a expression of something much, much bigger. So he starts asking about the details. What's pshat in this detail? What's pshat in that detail? That is this is something that we're actually learning b'chush very now. It's one of the things that we can learn from this whole isolation situation. You see all these little maisim have huge mashmaut. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has shown that to us behedya. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, the Talmud Chacham, and he said this. He said to me, no one can ever tell me anymore that details in halacha don't matter. Well, who cares if you do like this, if you do that? Here we're now, look, you see b'chush, right? Did you wash your hands? Did you not wash your hands? Did you cough? Did you not cough? Did you touch him? Did you not touch him? All of these little details, they can have massive effects. Right? So the Chacham understands that the details in halacha are extremely important because they're expressions of something much, much bigger. Right? So it makes a big nafkamina. Did you do the Natilas Yadayim like this, or did you, do you make a bracha now with the karpas? Did you not make a bracha? Where do you have to do b'haseba? Do you not have to do b'haseba? How big is a revius, right? Do we go with Chaim Noah? Do we go with the Chazanish? Or do we go with all this stuff? All of these things are very, very important because they're not just from Izachan, right? They are from Izachan, but that's not the point of them. The point of them is that they are a gilui. Every action that you do is actually in Plimius, Megala, something that is huge and it's connected to the Ein Sof. And that's what you're doing every time you do a Maisa. When you so he said, Ma ha'edut v'chukim v'mishpatim, all of these edus, chukim, mishpatim, all of these details that the Torah is mitzaved, Asher tziva Hashem Elokeinu etchem. Right? And what's the response? Afata emelok yelchot Pesach en maftirin achar Pesach afikoman. Which is a very interesting answer that the Baal Haggadah says. Right? That he says, you tell him the hilchos Pesach ve'ein maftirin achar Pesach afikoman. Right? What's the din of ein maftirin achar Pesach afikoman? That means that you're not allowed to eat anything after the Korban Pesach, which for us nowadays is the afikoman, right, which is the last matzah that we eat, right? Which is zeichel Pesach, and that's all the sugyas in Arvei Pesachim. Fine, right? And Rashi says over there, Rashbam says over there, the time is the reason for the mitzvah is that kadesh isha tam matzah v'yayin, because we have two kosos after bepiv, that the tam should stay in your mouth. Right? What does that mean? Right. So the inyan in tam is that you have to understand that the mitzvahs make a nafkamina. In other words, the mitzvah's impact. When the tam stays in your mouth, so you carry on with that thing. When you go to bed, you still got that, right? that taste in your mouth. Right? In other words, here's the nakuda. The lomdus of that is that you should understand that the mitzvahs, they make an impact, they make a roshem, and they impact reality. That's also Nefesh HaChaim. That's Nefesh HaChaim Shah Aleph. Right? That the Nefesh HaChaim Shah Aleph explains, but arichut, that all of your mitzvahs that you do, they affect massive things. And again, another thing that we're seeing b'chush with the coronavirus, the impact of our actions is unbelievable. Some shmerel in China eats a bat, and we're all in isolation. Right? It's mamash like you see the physical mirror of what the Nefesh HaChaim speaks about in Shah Aleph, that how every action that you do, it goes up to its shorish in the Olamot Elyonim, and it changes things and it impacts things, and that filters down to this world. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Shefa comes here, and it can, you can with a mitzvah, you can create a Shefa Eloki that will, impact what's going on in Israel and what's going on in China, whatever it is, right? And when you do Chas V'Shalom Manavera, it can do the opposite, and it can be horrendous things. Your mitzvahs make a massive impact. You're seeing that now, right? We're seeing the physical mirror of this behavior. That's mamish what it means. That the tam mitzvah stays in your mouth. In other words, that the impact of that mitzvah lives on, right? It stays with you. All of these things make an afkamina. Right? All of these things matter. Right? They have massive mashma'ut to your masim. Right? That's what you tell a chacham. A chacham is someone that understands that. He understands that there is something much bigger and much deeper that goes on in my life, and that the external layer of my life is for sure not the end. That's called Dai L'Chakima Baramiza. Yeah? Okay, that's the Ben Chacham. What does the Rasha say? Right. So the Rasha says, Ma ha'avodah hazot lachem v'lo lo, lefi shehotzi et atzmo min haklal kafar ve'ikar. Afata hakeh et shinav, because he took himself out from the klal, kafar ve'ikar. That's called kfira. V'afata hakeh et shinav, and you fight back to him and say, Ba'avozeh, aseh Hashem li, but setim yizayim li v'lo lo, ilu hayasham, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this for me when I came out. You, Taka, you're out. Right? And if you were there, you would not have been nigal. You would have not made it. Right? So very, very interesting here, which is that Lefi shehotzi et atzmo min haklal kafar be'ikar. So Rasha is called someone that he does not see himself as part of Klal Yisrael. And that's called kfira. That's called kfira be'ikar. Ma pshat? What's pshat in that? And why is that called a Rasha? That's a big chiddush in what a Rasha is. A Rasha doesn't mean even necessarily mean a friar guy, right? At least not here. A Rasha means someone that doesn't see him. He doesn't identify as a chelek of Klal Yisrael. That's called a Rasha, and that's called kfira be'ikar. What's pshat in that? Why? So with what we've been speaking about, so you start to understand that. We'll maybe explain a little bit more in a minute. But you see, we spoke about this at the beginning, how the whole Inyan in Yetzias Mitzrayim is the Yetzirah of Klal Yisrael. That's what it is. The Yetzirah of the of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that they're going to be the ones that are Mekabel the Torah. Right? That's what that is. And if you don't see yourself as part of that, you're not shaykh to the whole thing. Right? So now, why is that called Kfira Be'ikar? So we know the Mishnah in Sanhedrin says, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek l'olam haba, shene'emar va'amech kulam tzadikim, netzem et ha'ay, masa yadai lehitpa'eh. All Yisrael have a chelek l'olam haba. And then the Mishnah carries on, the second chelek of the Mishnah says, Ve'elu she'en lahem chelek l'olam haba. And these are those that do not have a chelek l'olam haba. It says, Omer she'en tchiyat hametim min ha'Torah, in Torah min ha'shamayim, apikoros. And then it says there haporish midarkei hatzibur as well. So the Mefarshim ask this: what's pshat in the Mishnah there? So it's a stira mireish l'sefer. Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek l'olam haba, shene'emar va'amech kulam tzadikim. Your nation are all tzadikim, so therefore they have a chelek l'olam haba. And then the next is, and these are the guys that don't. Shomer terech zemein Torah, apikoros, all these people. I don't understand. Does everybody have a chelek? Does everybody not have a chelek? So the Maharal says pshat there in Chidushei Haggadah. He says, no, you have to lay in the Mishnah right. You have to read the Mishnah properly. He says, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek leolam haba. Shane'ema ve'amech kulam tzadikim. Right? If you identify as a Yisrael, if you are part of the club called Yisrael, you have a chelek leolam haba because amech kulam tzadikim. We know that we're born Jews. That's true, right? There's we're given to B'Yerusha, Baruch Hashem, but it's a milah that you can use. There's a milah called Yisrael. You can mess that milah up. You can take yourself out of a din Yisrael. If you have a din Yisrael, you have a chelek l'olam haba. But there are things that can ruin that for you. If you hold there's no tchias and min Torah, if you hold there's no Torah min Shamayim, all of these things, which we'll talk about later, it's basically the Yud Gimel Ikrim. Right? The Yud Gimel Ikrim were all nischadesh in Yetzias Mitzrayim. Right? These things take you out of a Shem Yisrael. And a person that doesn't have a Shem Yisrael has no shaychus le'olam haba, right? Because olam haba means that you are part of Klal Yisrael. That's why porish midarkei tzibur hasn't got a chayla. Who cares if you porish midarkei tzibur, right? It says it's mamash nifsak in the Rambam. It's in Hilchos Tshuva. I don't want to waste time finding it, but he paskins like that. It's a Mishnah, right? But if you're parish midarkei tzibur and you're not mitzaref with the tanesim and the tzoros of the tzibur, you have no chelek l'olam haba. Why? What have you done? What's the big deal? Right? So the big deal is that you're not mischaber to Klal Yisrael, and chelek l'olam haba is talui on your Shem Yisrael, right? Because the whole of Yetzias Mitzrayim was only done for Yisrael as a whole. It was not done for any one individual, because the whole of Yetzias Mitzrayim was to get you to Matan Torah, and Matan Torah is too big for any one individual, and you have to see yourself as part of Klal Yisrael. Otherwise, you're out. Right? You are totally out. And Mamela, Misha, if he says Lachem velolo, lefi shehotzi et atzmo min haklal kafar beikar, and you wouldn't have got out. All you have to do is say, all of this, this Jewish stuff, this going to shul, it's all very nice, but I have my way of seeing things, and the things that I pick, right, that they speak to me, right, and I relate to. So I'll do that. But this other stuff, this mitzvah, that mitzvah, or this, going to shul and all of this stuff, this I don't relate to, so I reject that. No, you can't do that. You can't do that, because it was given as a klal, right? And the whole thing is given to everybody. Right? And if you separate yourself, if you see yourself as an individual, right, then you're done. You're finished. Right? So that's called a rasha. Right? And Taka, you chuck him out. Right? We don't want that. Right? Fine. Right. Let's
just to ask on that.
Shalom. Yeah. So what do you say?
I was asking, to be a Rosh in Yiddishkeit, normally we don't see it anywhere else. Just by not believing one thing that makes you into a Rosh. We see in Christianity, all you need to do is believe in Yoshka. In Yiddishkeit, we don't normally see that's what a Rosh is. And just to believe that you're part of a klal, you're saved.
You're right, But here it's not. Christianity is that all you need to do is that your maisim don't matter. That means that all you need to do is believe. All you need to do is believe, and that's it, right? That's called Asavism, right? That everything stays in the head, and it doesn't come into your maisim, right? That's not Judaism. However, we have Yud Gimel Ikarei HaEmunah, which means that there are certain things that you must believe, and if you don't believe them, you're out, right? That means that let's take it to the extreme, right? And we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this because this all comes from Yetzias Mitzrayim. All of it comes from Yetzias Mitzrayim. On that Mishnah in Sanhedrin is where the Rambam is machadish the Yud Gimel Ikrim. On the Pirush Mishnah there in the Rambam says, he goes ba'arichas gedolah ma'od, and he says, and know that there are Yud Gimel Ikrim and these are them, and he goes through all the Yud Gimel Ikrim, because you see from the Mishnah there are certain things that you have to believe be'emunah, and if you don't, you're out, right? And that's what the Maharal is explaining. You lose your Shem Yisrael, right? You can lose that, right? So let's take, for example, the most extreme. What the first ikka, and it's the first mitzvah in the Rambam, is to believe that there is a God, right? To have emunah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu exists, right? So now, if you don't believe that there is a God, right? So you can do all the mitzvahs you want, but you're not in the right framework, habibi. Right, atalo shama. Right? So it's like it doesn't help you, right? Very nice, right? But you're a kofer, shalom, right? You're out, right? So there are, and Reb Chaim says nebuch an apikoros is also an apikoros. There's no shogeg on this, right? That's nebuch an apikoros is eichet an apikoros. It's a good line, right? But what Reb Chaim means by that is that there's no room for error there. Right? You can do a chilul Shabbos b'shogeg, and there's a derech to do tshuva on that. But Reb Chaim is saying that if you don't believe that there's a God, so I can't do anything for you. Like, what do you want from me? Right? Like, so you're doing mitzvahs to what? Bishvil ma? Lama tal se'edze? Why are you learning Torah? Because it's intellectually interesting for you, right? You don't believe that it's a chochma eloki, so you're not Jewish. Like, well, I can't help you. Right? It's not going to get you to olam haba what you're doing. You're not even within the right framework at all. Right? That's what's being nischadash here. Right? And here what's being nischadash is an even bigger chiddush in a sense, which is that part of that is that you have to see yourself as Klal Yisrael as well. You have to see yourself as a chelik of the mission of the Klal. You can't just see yourself as an individual. And the reason for that is because no one individual is big enough to accept this mission. No one. Right? And if you separate yourself from that, you jeopardize the whole thing. You have to see yourself as this is all the oimek of Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh and the chashivas of tzibur, and we know we wear two hats as Jews the whole time. You are a yochid, you're 100% a yochid. Adam was nivri yichidi, and every person has his own chelek l'olam haba. It's for sure like that. But you also see yourself as part of the klal. And you have to see yourself as part of the klal as well. If you separate yourself from Klal Yisrael as a whole, you're not big enough. No one's big enough. The only person that was like that was Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu was a ness. Moshe Rabbeinu was someone that was totally l'mayla min hateva, right? He could contain the whole Torah by himself, but nobody else can do that. Nobody else. So Mamela, if we don't see ourselves as a tzibur, we don't see ourselves as as a klal, so we're not shaykh to the Kabbalah Torah. We can't get that thing, right? And Mamela, the whole thing goes kaput. So if you separate yourself from the klal, that's called kfira be'ika, and you're out. Right? So that's the Rasha. Okay, Tam Mazot. So here Tam, he says Mahu Amer Mazot va'amarta elav bechozek yad hotzianu Hashem mitzrayim mibet avadim. So Tam means someone that has limited ability to understand. He has limited. He can't. Now, if you look at what his problem is, as opposed to the Chacham, is that he doesn't understand this very subtle point that we're saying, that the details matter. He doesn't get that. He just, what is all of this? Right? So what do you respond to him? You respond to him in terms of the klalim. Bechozek yad hotzianu Hashem mitzrayim mibet avadim. Bechozek yad means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu forces his hand. Bechozek yad, he gets involved, which means hashgacha. Right? So somebody that can't chap, right? He doesn't have the ability to chap these details. It's beyond him. You still must give him a shaychus to the klalim, because if he doesn't have shaychus to the klalim, then he's also out and he's got a major problem. So you explain to him the general message, which is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu got involved, b'chozek yad, right? He got involved in the world b'hashgacha. He didn't just run the world as a system anymore. He puts his hand in there and starts moving things in the bria directly for Klal Yisrael, right? And that's what you tell the Tam. That's what you tell someone that can't appreciate that the details, the added layer of depth, which is that he does that. You know what? We'll bring all this together later, when the Baal HaGadah goes into this later. But that's the Nakuda. Okay, fine, all right. So now, b'she'enu yodea lishol ad petach lo. So she'enu yodea lishol, right? I don't know if it means that he's a total idiot. It means that he's totally I don't know if the right word is not frum, or he's ignorant. He doesn't know. He may very well be able to understand things, but he's totally clueless. He's like he doesn't. I don't know if it means though that he's an idiot, right? So, because look what the Bala. Because why do I say that? Because look at the response of the Bala Haggadah. He says, so you open up the sugya for him. You show him the pasuk. There's a mitzvah tonight. Right? This is all, by the way, the Yachol Mirosh Chodesh is a hemshech of the answer, right? A lot of people read this wrong, right? The Yachol Mirosh Chodesh is a hemshech of the answer to the She'enu Yodeh Lishol. Yachol Mirosh Chodesh Talmud Lomar B'yomahu. I might think that I should speak about Yetzias Mitzrayim from Rosh Chodesh. It says Bayomahu, on the day. I Bayomahu Yachol Mi Ba'od Yom. You would maybe think on the day. Talmud Lomar Ba'avuzeh. Right? Right? You should speak about Yetzias Mitzrayim when the matzah and the maror are in front of you. That's a very detailed answer. That's the longest answer from the lot of them. Right? So what's being said here? What's being said in all of this? So that's why I don't know if it's pshat that he's an idiot, because you're giving him quite a thing over here. But if you look carefully, what's happening here, it's an overview of the whole thing. Right? In other words, somebody that doesn't know and he's just a total ignoramus, you've got to open it up for him. You've got to open up the whole sugya for him as much as you can. Understand there's a din of v'higat lebincha bayomahu, right? That there's a mitzvah of speaking about Yetzias Mitzrayim tonight. Now, why are we speaking about that? You may think you could speak about this anytime. Right? Speak about it from the beginning of Nisan, the festive season, right? Or even on the day. No. Speak about it when the matzah and the maror are munach lefanecha. You should know there are a lot of Rishonim that hold that that's leikuva. That means, by the way, if let's say chas v'sholom you couldn't, there was a point in Klal Yisrael where they couldn't get matzahs. If you can't get matzahs or maror, you can't do the mitzvahs. So there's no din v'higat lebincha. V'higat lebincha is I'm saying this is Pashup Pshat in the Haggadah here. Lo amarti ele b'shah sheyesh matzah v'maror munachim lefanecha. Why are you saying this to the She'enu Yodeh Lishol? So now, with everything that we've said, you see quite clearly what he's doing. He's saying, understand that there was Yetzias Mitzrayim, and that actually has to crystallize in my life. That has to express itself in my life. And that's why we speak about it today when there's mitzvahs as well. There's maisim. There's achilas matzah and maror. And why do we eat a matzah? We're going to see later in Rabban Gamliel. Right? How exactly do these things crystallize the idea of Yitzhak and the concepts of Yetzias Mitzrayim? Right? But here's what you tell the She'enu Yodeh Lishol. This again is someone that's clueless. You open it up. You tell him there's a mitzvah to speak about Yetzias Mitzrayim because it's the foundation of all of our lives. Right? And when do we speak about it? Dafka tonight, when there's matzah v'maror munachim lefanenu, because the messages of Yetzias Mitzrayim express themselves in our lives through the mitzvahs. Right? And that's what our lives is about. Our lives are about expressing, showing, living by, and being megale the lessons of Yetzias Mitzrayim. And therefore, we talk about it tonight when we have the matzah and the maror munachim lefanenu. In other words, it's a limud, it's a sipur sheba lidei ma'aseh. It comes to lemaisa. It comes to the world of lemaisa. And that's the end of the Hakdama, right? Unbelievable Hakdama, no? Why is this night different? Right? Because we were slaves. HaKadosh Baruch Hu got involved. He started a whole new way of functioning, of making the Bria work. That it's His world, right? That it's His hashgacha, it's His plan, and this is the foundation of our lives, right? And it's nogea to our lives nowadays. That's why the Tanaim would speak about it all night. And it's nogea to everything, even Lasid Lavoi, right? And understand that. What is that thing? It's that we're connected to Baruch HaMakom, we're connected to the Ein Sof, Right, and we are connected to him through Natinat Torah, which is the soft pasuk of Yetzias Mitzrayim, that he's going to give us the Torah, and that means that we can connect ourselves at Tzivanu to something that's much bigger to us, and it doesn't matter what your abilities are or where you fit in the spectrum of Klal Yisrael. This is Nagaya to you, whether you're Chacham, whether you're Rasha, whether you're Tam, or She'eni Yodea Lishol. This is Nagaya to you. This is the pinwheel that your whole life is turning around. Right? That's the Hakdama. Right? Then the Haggadah will start to go into the details. Right? We're going to start speaking about the story. Okay? So we'll stop there. So you see, when we try and see the mahalach that the Haggadah here, you see that he was very good. You know, he's a very good sefer. Right? He knew exactly what he was doing. He put everything there b'madiyuk. It's not just stam. Right? It's not just like these random things that are just that they just chop together. You see, there's a clear mahalach happening over here. And now we're going to start getting into the real v'higatzah lebincha. We're going to start talking about where we started from, and then there was Avram, and it came to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and it became Shivim Nefesh, and then we go down, and then there was Shivim Mitzrayim. We're going to now go into all the details, right, and what all of those details mean. Yeah. Okay. All right. Ad kan. All right. I'm just going to stop the recording.